Shall I call you Kate?
Yes.
Yeah. So where do you live now?
I'm sort of between Chicago and Berlin.
Yeah. And I understand you're born in Singapore, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you're originally Chinese?
Yes.
So do you speak Chinese too?
Yes.
Oh, you speak Chinese with your parents?
Yeah, and with friends.
Oh. And when you're in Singapore, of course you speak mainly Chinese there.
Actually, Singapore is the first language is actually English.
Yeah.
So actually, most people speak English, and English is my first language. But there are a lot of Chinese people there that also speak Chinese.
Yeah, because your English like very British English, so not American English. So I was wondering.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not really
Okay.
American. Yeah. So your parents which parts from China are they from?
They're, well, I guess generally from the southwest.
Yeah.
It's a province called Yunnan.
Oh, I see. So your parents are also born in Singapore, or they went to Singapore when they were like young?
They were born in China and they went to the UK for their studies,
Yeah.
like college and graduate, postgrad, all
Yeah.
that stuff. And then they moved to Singapore and
Oh, so are they musician or?
no, not at all. No.
Oh. Oh, what kind of profession is your father?
My father is a computer science professor. And my mom was a math major.
Wow, so it's like very, very mathematician, very intelligent. Yeah, I see. And your brother and sister?
I have an older sister. She is currently a professor at Duke University. She teaches political science, international
Wow,
relations.
such intelligent family. Wow. The two of you. Your two
Yes,
sisters.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Wow, it comes from very, very, very intellectual background. Yeah, I see. And then you moved to Chicago. How old were you when you went to Chicago?
8.
Was that for the reason for the piano teacher? Or?
No, actually, my dad, from what I remember, my dad was able to get a job here at one of the universities, and they thought it would be also a good place to raise their
Oh,
kids.
yeah.
It's just a very big environment and, of course, a very important country. So
Yeah.
they just decided, yeah, it would be.
I see. And actually, you look so young.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm very flattered at this age.
And you have very, very long fingers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was my impression through the YouTube, the video I see.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I guess I can't really tell myself. Yeah.
yeah. Because how tall are you? Like in centimeter?
168.
Oh, so you're tall for Oriental. Yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm 165, but even taller. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So you went to Chicago and you went to New York later?
I went to Philadelphia first.
Yeah.
To study at Curtis.
Yeah.
And then after that, Juilliard in New York.
Oh, yeah. I was studying at Juilliard a long time ago. And all the faculty changed completely. And your teacher was Mr.
Robert McDonald.
Yeah, Rockwell, yeah. He was not there when I was there. Yeah. So which teacher influenced the most?
I guess in terms of a sort of length of study,
Yeah.
I've studied with Mr. McDonald for the longest period of time. I've had other influential teachers as well, like Alan Chow and Veda Kaplinsky.
Yeah, yeah.
But with Mr. McDonald, I've studied for 9 years with him. So it was quite a very, very long time. And he was a very big influence on sort of the way that I play and where I am today. And yeah.
Oh, and is there any kind of reason you chose Mr. McDonald?
Well, I guess Before I went to Curtis and studied with him, I had heard of him. That was the first thing. And I had heard from my teacher and other sort of musical figures that he was a very good musician and he was a
Mhm.
very good teacher. And I already heard many good things about him. And then I went to a summer camp
Yeah,
to specifically to study with him at that time, just to sort of get to
yeah,
know him and for him to get to know
yeah.
me. And that was the first time I met him and the first time I saw him teach live. And I absolutely, of course, thought at that moment that he was a very wonderful teacher, very sort of well informed and loved music and knew so much about it, very intelligent. He's a very, very sort of just very intelligent man, and he knew exactly what was right
Mhm,
and
mm,
what was convincing. And yeah, at that moment, I sort of formed
mm.
this very great uh, um, opinion, I guess, of him as a teacher, as a person, as a musician. And that's why I decided to study with him, and I'm very glad I did. And I studied with him for the next 9 years.
Yeah. Then, so when you won the prize in Chopin competition, you were studying with Mr. McDonald.
Yes.
I see. Yeah. The last time I interviewed was Mr. Kevin Kenner.
Yes.
Yeah, and he commented. We're talking about the Chopin competition and Chopin works, and he was commenting on how he was impressed with your performance of the Fantasy Impromptu of Chopin. No, Fantasy Polonaise.
Yes, the Polynese
Yeah,
Fantasy.
yeah,
Yes,
Polonaise
very
Fantasy. And,
nice.
the tempo you took was very, very slow, but it was very intense, and you just, it was very impressive.
Well, that's very, very nice of him. When I spoke to him, he's always been a very nice.
Yeah, and I had the same opinion. I listened to it, and yeah, and your concentration. You have a very, very strong concentration. All the pieces you play in etudes, in waltz, of mazurka. I like actually your mazurka very much too.
Oh, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
and every time I feel is that you're have very intense, concentration. That's what I have impression in your performance. So, is there like how much you study a day? Very much, maybe for the competition, depends on the concert, or how is your routine of the practice?
It really sort of depends.
Yeah.
Depends on how much time I have. Of course, ideally, when I have the time, I do like to practice, uh, 5-6 hours or something like that. Sometimes more, sometimes less. It's not really a set amount. Um, so that's my ideal. Of course, when there's other things happening and there's concerts and
Mhm.
everything, it's not always, yeah, there's travel.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not every day that I get to do that, but ideally, I would say that's the amount that I
Mm.
like to practice.
Is there any piece you play all the time, like etudes to warm up yourself, or?
Actually, I tend to practice slow pieces first,
Uh-huh.
just because I like to get into the mood of practicing and to practice well, to focus well, there always needs to be some sort of inspiration. And for me personally, I do like the feeling of playing something slow to just sort of start my fingers up, to start my inspiration, my brain a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, and that way I don't hurt my fingers as well, just going straight into something fast. Um, yeah.
Yeah. And when did you decide that you wanted to be a concert pianist? Like, you're very young, or was there something you had something important that made you feel you want to become a concert pianist?
I To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't think there was really a specific moment.
Yeah.
I just sort of, or I guess that specific moment only came much later when I had to decide where to go for college, or the couple of years before that or something. I just sort of, music had always been just a very huge part of my life, and I had been studying and playing so many pieces and just sort of getting to know so many pieces and getting to love so many pieces that at some point as I was studying pieces, I guess I just realized, I had a sudden realization that I loved it very much. And of course, I had been going to summer camps and doing a few competitions and, just being involved in the whole world of classical music. And at a certain point, I just felt that music was very it couldn't not be a part of my life. And the fact that it was so important, I thought, yeah, this could be something that I would love to do for the rest of my life. I didn't really know what being a concert pianist meant or what a career really meant at the time, but I just loved it, and I thought I loved it more than anything else.
So when you first started to play the piano, who introduced you to play the piano?
I think it was just my mom. My mom has always been very, she'd always wanted her children to be in some part of the arts world. And I think she thought that it was a very important part of development and important part of just life in general. And so she, of course, my older sister started with piano first. And then, of course, listening to her, I think I also just, I don't know if it was my mom wanted me to start also and just put me on piano, or I also wanted to, but I think that was just quite natural, just listening to my sister, and that's also how I got started. And training to hear notes and things like that.
So she's much. What's the difference? Age difference between you and your sister?
3 years.
Oh, 3 years. So I'm sure she still plays the piano sometimes, right? Because as a hobby, of course.
Actually, no. She switched instruments a few years
to
ago.
violin.
So she became a violinist.
Yeah, so you can accompany her and play together even.
Yeah, a lot. I did that a lot.
Yeah. So what did so tell me, what do you concentrate? I know you're coming to Japan in March. What is your repertoire mainly working on?
Well, I just started learning. Have played already, but it's still sort of in the beginning stages. Chopin Sonata No. 2. I'm also playing a wonderful Liszt piece. His Petrarca.
Yeah, 104 or
123.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah, so I've had a very nice time sort of working on that. Otherwise, I've performed a while and I'm still performing the Schumann Symphonic Etudes.
Well, that is interesting. I think that will suit you so much.
Oh, thank you. I mean,
I love to listen.
I love the piece.
I love to listen. Yes, from the beginning. That the variation is quite long, right? And I think you need such a concentration on each variation. And I'm sure you played wonderfully.
Oh, thank you. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's really a great piece and very challenging in many, many ways, many different characters, like you said.
Yeah. Do you play the Schumann concerto also?
No, not yet. I would love to.
So apart from Chopin, like which composer, which pieces are you working on? Like you like to perform in the concert in future?
In terms of what I would like to learn in the future, I would actually love to get into the world of Schubert. I think he's a composer that I haven't really had a chance to play much, but I've always loved him very, very much. And I think that one of the next things that I would love to do is just to get into his world and learn more of his pieces and just to immerse myself in his sort of aesthetic and emotional world. And I would very much look forward to doing that.
Yeah. And how about like French, Russian music?
So I have always loved those music as well. I've played those. I've played quite a few of those pieces in my life. So a lot of Debussy and Ravel, and of course I've gone into Scriabin and Rachmaninoff and Prokofiev. I will continue to sort of, look for those pieces to learn, and there are plenty of them, and I look forward to doing that as well. Um, but in terms of sort of a composer that I haven't played much is Schubert. So that's the next thing I'm thinking of.
I also love to hear you play the Prokofiev First Concerto.
Oh, okay.
Have you played the Prokofiev Concerto?
I haven't played the first.
The third?
I've played second and third.
Oh, second and third. Well, which would you like better, the second and the third? Which one?
I have to say the second.
Yeah. That's a piece. I see. Oh, when did you play this Prokofiev second concerto? With which orchestra?
Well, I played it once. Actually, I was in the Montreal competition a long, long time ago, and in the finals I played it. That was my first and only time. Yeah.
Well, I can imagine that the opening theme is like a soul, that theme is very, special. And I'm sure you played with such a concentration in a very special way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Imagine, yeah.
Beautiful opening. Yeah.
Yeah. And apart from the piano, do you have any hobby?
I don't have much time to do it now, but I've always really loved to draw.
Oh, painting, I see. Oil
Or
painting?
not painting. I'm not good at painting, but I love to sort of sketch.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's been a very long time hobby since I was very, very, very young.
Oh, like a person, the view, and
Yeah, a lot of just objects, landscape, that sort of thing.
oh, so it must, since you're traveling a lot, you can do a lot of sketching as a refreshment.
Yeah, I would love to get back into it sometime. Yeah.
I see. And how cooking?
Um, Not so much.
Oh, not so much, really. You prefer to eat rather than cook.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess it is much nicer to eat. It's very nice to eat. Yeah, I haven't gotten into cooking, I have to say.
Of course, if you live with your family, your mother must be a very good cook.
Yeah, both my parents are very good cooks.
Oh, I see. So you eat a lot of Singapore food?
Just a lot of Chinese food.
Chinese. Oh, what is your favorite Chinese dish?
I think probably my number one go-to is this dish called egg and tomato. I think it's just
Yeah, very simple. Yes.
yeah, it's a very I love that one. Yeah. Very
Oh,
simple,
I
very
see.
traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you write and read Chinese too?
Yes.
You speak Chinese with your sister?
No, not with my sister.
Oh, really?
Not much. Only if in occasion when we want to, I don't know, say something in secret, but English is still our main
Oh,
way of
I
communicating.
see. Oh, I see. And when you're performing, you always have your hair straight down. Do you ever put your hair up to play?
Actually not to play, no. It's
Oh, I
mostly
see.
just kind of like this.
Yeah. Have you had long hair for all your life?
No. When I was very young, I think there was a period where it was quite short. Yeah,
Oh, I see.
yeah.
Yeah, it's true because when I was watching the video, the YouTube you're playing in the competition, you looked much more serious. But you're such a natural, young girl, and you look so young and
Oh,
fresh.
thank you.
Yeah. What is your sign?
I'm sorry?
What's your astrological sign?
I think it's like Gemini?
Yeah, Gemini, I see. And how about your Chinese sign?
I'm dog.
Oh, I see. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in the near future, what is your like a big plan for yourself as a musician?
I guess my goal is just to try to keep performing. I wouldn't say that I have any really big grand plan or something like that. Just as much performing as I can do and some teaching on the side and just continue doing what I'm doing and practicing and just falling in love with more music.
Do you teach now? Do you
I
teach
teach
now?
some. Yeah.
Oh, really? Where do you teach?
I only teach on Zoom because I travel, and that's the sort of the only way that I can get that
So
through.
like these students, are they living in Singapore or in Chicago? Or
They're everywhere. So they're in different places. That's why it works on Zoom, and that's sort of the only way that I've been
yes.
able to do that.
So do you teach in English or depends on the student? Sometimes you teach in Chinese too?
No, in English.
I see.
Yeah. The terms get a little hard in Chinese, so I become not so fluent.
Yeah. So I was also very looking forward. You're going to play the 2 pianos with Eric Liu, right?
Yes.
Which pieces are you going to play? The Mozart? I love the Mozart
Mozart is on
concerto
there?
you're playing together.
Oh, the 2 piano concerto?
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
I
Yeah.
interviewed him last year. He was very, very, very nice.
Yes, yeah, I I know of that. Yeah. Well, for repertoire, yes, we're doing a Mozart sonata. We're doing a Chopin rondo and 2 Schubert pieces, the Lebensstürme and the Fantasy.
Yeah. Oh, that's Dave Miner, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, wow. And so where do you rehearse together? Where did he live? I forgot.
He's also he's between Boston and Berlin.
Yeah. Oh, so do you rehearse at Berlin?
We've sort of rehearsed at different places. Because we both travel, it's a little bit hard to really get to be in the same place all the time and to
Yeah.
have 2 pianos. So there was a period of time we were both in Warsaw for a while, and we rehearsed a lot over there. And in Berlin, there's actually no chance with 2 pianos. So yeah, it's sort of been here and there. We found places to practice.
Yeah. So did you meet him at Chopin competition? You knew him before? Or?
We actually went to the same school. We both went to Curtis.
Oh, yeah. With the same teacher?
Yes.
Yeah, I see. Oh, because I have a memory also, Curtis. I auditioned for Curtis when I was 14, long time ago. And actually, I played for Elena Sokolov. You know her?
Yes.
Yeah, I went to her lesson before my audition, and she said, "Oh, I think you don't practice enough." She said, "All my students, they play 7 hours, 8 hours a day." And she said, "How many hours you practice?" I said, "Well, around 4, 5." I said, "No, that's not enough, and it's too late."
This was right before your audition?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Lots of history, I think, a lot of pianists at these schools.
But I'm happy I went to Judah because Philadelphia is very nice, but I think you can get very bored easily if you lived in New York. There's so many things to do in New York.
New York is definitely more interesting. Yeah. Life. But I love Philadelphia because of course I went to school there, and I love the vibe.
Yeah. Maybe it's good to study. You can concentrate more because it's very calm, and of course you have the Philadelphia Orchestra, fantastic situation to study and concentrate.
Yeah. I very much loved that environment. I had a very nice time just sort of being very focused, I guess.
Yeah, living in Philadelphia, New York, Berlin, Chicago. So right now you must feel at home. Chicago is your home?
In some respect, yeah, very much. I think Chicago and Philadelphia are my most homey areas in the US.
Yeah. So when is your tour coming next?
So the next thing I'm going to is Croatia. I'm going actually in 2 weeks.
Oh, which cities?
Just Zagreb. I'm playing with the Zagreb Philharmonic.
Which concert are you playing?
Chopin 2.
Oh, for the competition, did you play 1 or 2? 1.
I played 1.
Well, I see. What different emotion do you have for first and second?
I think overall, while they're both very, very poetic pieces, I would have to say that one is sort of more pure in character, and two has a bit more of a darker tone. F minor, I think, is quite a dark key, and I love both of them.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, do you have Chinese name? Kate is English name, and your Chinese name is?
Chinese name is Liu Jing.
Liu Jing.
Yes.
Oh, what kind of character is that? Is it two characters?
Yes, two characters.
What does it mean?
Oh, apparently it means jade, like the stone, the green the jade. Yeah, I think.
Oh, I see. So I'm really looking forward to see you in Japan. And in the end, could you give us a message to Japanese readers? Any message for upcoming concert in March?
Well, I guess I really look forward to these concerts, and of course, I love playing solo, but I also very much love playing with Eric and all the duo repertoire. So it's gonna be, I think, quite a couple of good concerts, good repertoire, and I'd be very happy to see all the Japanese audiences there. And I'm very grateful for anyone who has sort of followed my sort of piano music and pianistic journey and everything, and I just hope to see many of them there, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, actually, I like to hear you and Eric talking on the stage, a little bit. I think people will be very happy to hear your conversation between after the the performance or before. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, maybe after. I think before we're too nervous. So
but I think that's a very good idea, because I like to hear you talk together, and I think people will love it. Maybe before the encore or something, like a 5 minutes talk about the piece or anything.
Yeah, we could. I mean, that we could consider something like that. Yeah,
I think you should, because then we'll like you more, because as a musician also, but as a person,
yeah, sure.
we get to know you. Oh, well, what a bright person, and
Yeah, we'll consider.
Yeah, please do. I think it's a very good idea, because he's a very talkative, very bright person also. So
Sure, yeah.
yeah.
Spread the word.
Thank you so much for today, and I hope to see you, and take care.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.